This season, with so many farmers reliant on bought-in fodder and other feeds, we've really got to focus on actively managing the supply and quality risks around buying feed. Flawed buying decisions can impact on the herd's productivity, the herd's health, and also the bottom line of the farm. Firstly, we have a good look at the feed and what does it smell like, what does it look like, does it have anything odd or unusual about it, and then we should go to feed testing to look beyond the price tag. As a used car salesman once told me, it's not what you pay, it's what you get for your money. And that applies to feed as well. So we need to use the feed test results to work out how much are we paying per megajoule of energy, how much are we paying per kilo of protein, and then look at exactly what role is this feed going to play in our diet. Is it what we want to have in our diet? If farmers are wanting to increase the certainty of their supply and the predictability of their feed costs, then the important thing is to confirm all verbal feed buying agreements in writing. And the best way to do that is just to use the Grains Trade Australia contract confirmation form. It's a nice little pro forma. And that will help you not only nail down how many tonnes of feed am I buying and at what price per tonne, but also the quality of the feed, the payment terms, where the feed's going to be delivered to and over what period of time. The final part of the buying process is actually receiving each load of the feed. So it's really important that you're actually there and keeping an eye on each of those deliveries so that you're confident that you're getting what you paid for. Farmers should be paying a lot of attention to their feed wastage because it costs a lot of money. If we spend $300 a tonne on a certain feed and we waste 20% of it, we've effectively paid $360 for it, not $300. There are different feed wastage rates with different feed out methods, and they range from 1 or 2% when we're feeding in the bale, in the dairy, at milking, whereas if we're feeding out on a paddock, we could be wasting up to 35%, and that's under dry conditions. Under wet conditions, it can be even higher. Feed wastage costs are assessed in two ways, either a loss of nutritional quality due to spoilage or contamination, or secondly, a loss of dry matter. And it's particularly during feed out to the cows that we incur a lot of dry matter losses. In other words, feed's put out, but it's not actually going down the cows' throats. The focus with feed wastage is very much at feed out, but we also need to be conscious of wasting feed when it's being delivered and unloaded on the farm, during storage on the farm, and when we're mixing ingredients into diets. It's really important when you're doing a feed budget to allow for feed wastage, because if you don't, you're going to underestimate how quickly you're going through the feed. The best systems to reduce feed wastage during storage, well, for silage it's a well-sealed stack, for hay it's under a roof, and for byproducts it's on a concrete pad. Now, during feed out, wastage is least in the bale, 1 to 2%, and we can also drive feed wastage down to a very low level on a fully developed concrete feed pad. But with feed out facilities to cows, there's a trade-off between how much money we spend and how much we can reduce the feed wastage. The good news when it comes to capital investment in feed out facilities is that you don't have to spend a lot of money to reduce feed wastage. A cheap, cheerful feed out facility, feed pad, will reduce your feed wastage rates when you couple it with some good feed out management. My top 3 tips for reducing feed wastage are: focus on quality, feed cows high quality feed, don't feed them mouldy feed, don't feed them crap, don't overfill the troughs, that's really important. And thirdly, try to turn over your perishable wet feeds within 7 days of delivery. When you're feed testing, the really important part is to get a truly representative sample. And when we're talking about silage or hay, you really must have one of these, a hay corer, because this is the only way you're really going to get a sample that represents the quantity of bales that you're wanting to look at. So the idea is sample 10% of the quantity, so if there's 100 bales, then you need to probe 10 of them. And it's really nice sharp end to your corer, and then you just go in at multiple points in each bale, and what we're trying to do is just fill up this bag till we've got our 500 grams. A really good technique, if you've collected more than 500 grams of silage or some other feed, not hay, is to quarter the samples. So just lay out the sample on a piece of plastic, form it into 4 quarters, remove 2 of those quarters, mix the other 2 together, lay them out in 4 quarters, get rid of 2, and just keep doing that until you've got your 500 grams, put it in the plastic bag. Now that we've got our truly representative sample, we need to get it to the lab safe and sound. So we don't leave it on the dash of the ute for 3 days. We get it straight into a cooler, into a fridge, into a freezer, and then early in the week we send it to the lab by overnight express post, making sure that we've filled in all the details on the submission form accurately so the lab knows exactly what tests we want.
For more information on buying, storing and delivering feed to cows this season, dairy farmers can visit feed.dairyaustralia.com.au or use the feed budgeting tool available at the Dairy Australia website.